Putting people first. World population is expected to reach 11.2 billion by 2100, up from 7.3 billion in 2015, from a UN DESA report. There's twice as many now as 50 years ago, and that's well over twice too many. They say our numbers will stabilize after increasing half again as much. There is more obvious evidence of this vast metastasization everywhere you look. They say the earth can support us one and all, without any real problems, but will live a septic and squalid lifestyle rooted amid the rubble and the trash. We'll manage the token forest after trading wildlife for agribusiness monocrops. We can finish strip fishing the ocean to meet the growing demand for food. Then our seafood will come from filthy, toxin-rich, germ-infested mudholes like those in China. But hey, we'll still have the dead oceans, spreading deserts, and a thawed Arctic to enjoy. We can archive old footage and preserve lots of different creatures' DNA. No doubt there will be a huge pool of labor glad to work for next to nothing. We'll chemically purify others' wastewater before we drink it down and flush it on. We'll be ripe for shocking pandemics, crammed as tightly as we can be. Wars will break out among the lemmings milling towards the precipice. Pestilence will spread quickly through genetically modified corporate crops. We'll have great zoos and well-fenced, highly managed game preserves. Town names will still remind us of the creatures we eliminated so long ago. Miraculous and expensive medical advances will help us all live even longer. The fractional percentage at the top will still enjoy a rich and wondrous life. Rugged individualists will still find ways to be distinguished in the crowds. The squalor, crime, and emptiness will produce great but twisted works of art. Globalization can help us all achieve a state of mutually assured misery. Debates on climate change and environmental damage will be long forgotten. India and China will provide our wasted world's natural model going forward. We can all turn inward, away from the writhing masses, like the Japanese do right now. We will be able to escape to a convergence of entertainment and computers. Uncounted untouchables will colonize and mine the rich dump sites worldwide. God told us to forego contraception so we can swarm like filthy rodents. We can adjust to the grimy reality of a greenhouse-heated world together. Emissions will decrease nicely once we've expended all our fossil fuels. We can get on with human progress when the amphibians and whales are gone. Global corporate capitalism will triumph over fairy tale ecosystem sustainability claptrap. The weak will be culled by dirty water, polluted air, and contaminated breast milk. Shove aside the charismatic megafauna from the Arctic to the Serengeti. Slash and burn and cut the jungle, the old growth, and the boreal forests. Pack us and our waste ever more tightly into sprawling, unplanned mega-slums. Dam the rivers, kill the fish, cut off the rich silt, and poison the waters. Let the global oligopoly rule based solely on stock market considerations. We can all flourish on patented corporate crops and recycled sewage water. Make it so that peace and silence reign only in ever-expanding, newly barren wastelands. We can school more tightly on the green pills inside our privatizing earbuds. Our children won't have painful memories of clean lakes and country roads to bother them. Generations can progress at last, freed from divisive whining by the squishes. The rats, roaches, flies, cats, and dogs can raise their numbers right along with us. Natural catastrophes occurring in overcrowded, unsuitable locations will be magnified. No longer able to foul and just move away, we will gaze off from inside our filth. After several generations, children won't have just their own parents to blame for a reduced world. Opportunities micro-marketing to the very poor will create wealth for a few. The adventurous can pursue their dreams alone upon oceans where only the odd life forms flourish. You can take your children on safe strolls through carefully tended tree farms. The dead were dug up long ago to make way for cropland and development. You could walk for weeks over identical automated farms, if it were allowed. Colonies will return once again to Greenland as Spain becomes a desert. Group suicide bombings will attain an unspeakable global popularity. Politicians and conservatives will always find some form of putative progress to trumpet. Those who call for population reduction will be labeled as genocidal elitists. The rational will continue to decline in reproduction, quite unlike the vast, very poor majority. There will be no more ecological debates in the mass struggle to survive. The dirty, hungry hordes of Africa will have consumed every single bit of wild meat. Religion will still provide an irrational hope and a calming, faith-based narcotic. Meaningless elections and free markets will vie against cults of personality. No longer will displaced subsistent farmers fear raids by hungry elephants. We will choke the estuaries with filthy aquaculture pens and kill off all the mangroves. Dye the farm salmon pink and genetically infect all their wild brethren. They will flood us with images of things we cannot afford in places we will never see. We shall ignore natural cycles and say, "Fuck insects, bring on the weeds, and loose the goats." For we live beyond the checks and balances of nature in the images of our one true gods.